Welcome to another startup and complete car documentation. What we're looking at today is a 2016 Hyundai Elantra SE.
This Elantra is painted in lakeside blue.
The front door panels have storage and bottle holders, and you do have power windows, door locks, and mirrors.
This one has the beige interior and the SE trim has cloth seats.
Full manual seats. Now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start the engine. On the remote fob, you have the buttons for lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic.
The Elantra is Hyundai's contender in the compact segment, competing with the likes of the Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla. The Elantra made its debut in the US for 1992, and 30 years later, the Elantra is still going strong. As of the 2023 model year, the Elantra is currently in its 7th generation. This 2016 model we have here represents the Elantra's 5th generation, which was sold in North America from model years 2011 through 2016. When it came out, the Gen 5 Elantra was sporting Hyundai's new at the time fluidic sculpture design language. This design language would be ditched for the 6th generation that came after it. The 5th gen Elantra utilized the Hyundai Kia J5 platform, which was also used by the 2nd generation Kia Forte. Aside from the 4-door sedan, the 5th generation Elantra also had a short-lived 2-door coupe body style as well. However, the coupe was discontinued after about 2 years due to poor sales compared to both the Elantra sedan and the Elantra GT 5-door hatchback, the latter of which is actually a separate model known in Europe as the Hyundai i30. I'll explain more about the i30 in a caption you can pause and read. Anyhow, the 5th generation Elantra did get a mid-cycle refresh for 2014, which mildly updated the styling and gave the car a few new features plus a new available engine. 2016 was the last year for the 5th gen Elantra, as the all-new 6th gen Elantra arrived here for 2017. The US market 2016 model year Hyundai Elantra sedan came in the following trim levels: SE, Value Edition, Sport, and Limited. 2 different engines can be had across the range, both being inline-fours. SE, Value Edition, and Limited all used a 1.8-liter engine with 145 horsepower, but the Elantra Sport got a more potent 173-horse 2-liter. Front-wheel drive is the sole drivetrain, and as for the SE trim, you can pair the engine to either a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission. In Hyundai's 2016 US sedan lineup, the compact Elantra is slotted between the subcompact Accent sedan and the midsize Sonata.
So in the instrument cluster, you have 2 analog gauges, which are your tachometer and speedometer, and then right here is a digital info display. It does contain your digital fuel and temperature gauges along with your odometer and your gear position, and then the top part you can toggle through via this button on the steering wheel. It has a 4-spoke design multifunctional steering wheel. There are sport grips at 10 and 2 and comfort grips all around the rest of the rim. It is a tilt steering wheel. And as for controls, all of them are on this side. You have your cruise control, along with your information display controls. Your fuse panel, you have your active eco driving mode, panel dim, and traction control toggle. Air vent for the driver. On this side is the exterior lighting stock. And on this side is the wiper stock. Going down the center of the interior, you have a digital clock with outside temperature, along with your passenger airbag indicator, air vents. And right here is your whole radio head unit. It is AM, FM, Sirius XM, and a CD player as well. You have your hazard switch. And below that are all the controls for your single zone climate control. Behind this cover is some storage, along with a power outlet, an aux port, and a USB port. You have two cup holders, and the parking brake is hand operated. And finally, your center console. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors. And pretty simple overhead console. You have a sunglass holder and your overhead lighting. Front passenger and rear passengers also have grab handles. But now we'll go ahead and roll down the driver's window and take a look at the engine bay. The driver's window is automatic down.
The base rims on the SE trim are these 15-inch Steelies with hubcaps. Powering the SE is the Elantra's base engine for 2016, a 1.8-liter naturally aspirated inline-four. This engine has dual overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, and variable valve timing, and it produces 145 horsepower at 6,500 RPM, along with 130 pound-feet of torque at 4,700 RPM. The engine in this one is paired to the optional 6-speed automatic transmission with a manual mode, and said transmission delivers power to the front wheels. Running on regular unleaded with a 12.8-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates for Elantras like this one are about 28 mpg in the city and 37 mpg on the highway. Pretty impressive. It uses a McPherson strut front suspension and a torsion beam rear setup. Stopping the car are 4-wheel disc brakes with vented front ones. Curb weight for this one is roughly 2,800 pounds.
fuel cap is located on the driver's side, as you saw earlier. There's also storage with bottle holders on the back door panels. The front passenger seat does have a storage net on the back. And there's also a folding center armrest with two cup holders back here. A coat hook on this side as well. Now, as someone who's about 6'1", I did put the driver's seat roughly where I'd have it if I was driving. So if there's someone smaller in front of me, it definitely would be better. Legroom is not very good. Not the worst ever, but it's not what I'd call comfortable. But then again, this is a compact car. And if you're smaller, or if there's someone in front of you who's smaller, or both, it, might be quite a bit better. This is just my circumstances. And headroom is not that great either. My head is, touching the roof. Single exhaust.
The trunk of the Elantra sedan offers 14.8 cubic feet of cargo space.
And the back seats also fold down to further increase space. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2016 Hyundai Elantra. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.